Hello everybody, Ayla here, and I'm here to tell you about living your best life through establishing healthy habits. About less than 5% of adults do not meet their physical requirement in a day, and that's only 30 minutes. 80% of adolescents don't meet that requirement. That is huge considering this obesity and heart disease epidemic that is facing our country. So I'm going to share with you some steps that can help you overcome that epidemic and not be part of that statistic, and also just to improve your sleep, your stress levels, and your risk of other diseases such as metabolic diseases. So number one in choosing a healthy lifestyle is picking out a goal. It's almost impossible to succeed at something if you don't even have a goal in mind because you don't know what you're trying to reach. A lot of people, their main goal is to lose weight. Some people want to gain muscle mass, which is awesome. I'm all for that. However, I feel that for beginners, the best bet is to start with just trying to establish healthy habits. As a certified personal trainer through the National Sports Science Academy, establishing these healthy habits and simply having the goal of attaining health is the most beneficial because people can typically notice results of their health, such as better sleep, lower stress levels, a better mood, a lot quicker than physical changes, which do take a long time to see, especially if you're not consistent with things. So, number two, how do you reach that goal? So for losing weight, your energy intake has to be lower than your expenditure, and your expenditure consists of things like your sleeping, your movement, and just your general thinking. Really basic overall energy expenditure even includes, yes, thinking. So it's really important to figure that out if you are trying to lose weight or gain weight, because with gaining weight, what you need to do is consume more than you are expending. With maintaining health, I typically rest clients at a maintenance rate in which their expenditure and intake are pretty balanced and pretty equal. And amazingly, a lot of people do lose weight on this sort of plan simply because they are fueling their bodies properly. And that's a whole nother story. So what would you do from here? You know your goal, you have that in mind. So what's next? You're gonna determine how much time you can dedicate to this goal, right? A lot of us are living this really fast-paced lifestyle that we're stuck in, of working 40 plus hours a week, or we have school as well, or we've got kids, we've got spouses to feed and hang out with, and friends to chill with, all sorts of things. So you need to determine what kind of hourly schedule or daily schedule is going to work for you. Most people can work out about 3 times a week, up to 4, depending on their schedule, of course, for 45 minutes to an hour. And that's a really, really great place to start. So you sort of need to figure out where can you fit that in your day. Is it before work? Is it after work? And you really need to dedicate yourself as well. If you have just 30 minutes, that's enough too. Know that you don't need 2 hours at the gym to increase your health. Every little bit counts. And so to start off with that time of dedication towards your health, where do you go from there? That would be your training split. So training split is the order in which you separate your workouts to work different parts of your body. A lot of people like to do an upper body day, a lower body day, and some cardio in between or something like that. But for the sake of simplicity, especially if you're only working out 3 days a week, full body workouts are prime because you get to work everything. You have enough rest days to recover, and you can feel the changes, sort of. You'll be able to feel your body all moving together, and you won't feel like you're missing out on anything in terms of isolating certain movements. So split that would kind of work with that, like in terms of day to day, would be a workout day, a rest day, another workout day, another rest day, another workout day, and then 2 rest days, which could ideally be the weekend, if you will, or whatever days your work weekend allows. So from there, you're going to need exercises to fill in those full body days, right? A lot of people struggle with this because there aren't that many resources. I find that's one of the main troubles with creating a healthy lifestyle for most individuals, is that they just simply don't know how. So I'm here for you. One of the best resources that you can use, the internet. We have such a privilege to access the internet and look at certain workouts and things to figure out what kind of training would be best for you. And what I really recommend for lower body is some compound lifts like squats and deadlifts, upper body pull-ups and bench press, and then some accessory work, and that would be working like the abdominals and things like that. Bodybuilding.com is a great resource that I definitely recommend. That is what I started with as a beginner, and that's actually what drove my passion to become a personal trainer. So, once you reach a resource that allows you to look through workouts, you could also hire a coach if you're not really sure of where to go, but it is definitely not necessary. Anyhow, from there, you're going to need to figure out the schedule, right? How do you begin your workout? How do you end it? What goes in between? For beginners, I would recommend, number one, a warm-up. This should last for 5 to 10 minutes. It should be dynamic stretching, nothing that's really static. So static would be something like this, where you're holding really tight and you're just letting it rest. Dynamic would be something more like arm swings and things like that, where you're actively moving and stretching at the same time, just so you don't hurt yourself. In between is where you do your training, and as a beginner, as long as you're using a reasonable amount of weight, you should be able to structure a plan pretty easily. And again, on bodybuilding.com, a great resource, they'll have a whole structured plan for you. And if you can't fit it all in, that's okay. Do what you can in the amount of time that you have. And finally, what you should do at the end of your workout is a cool down, and this should last another 5 to 10 minutes as well, and that would be the static stretching. And you don't have to stretch to a point of extreme pain. It can just be a moderate pain, and that'll help you recover great. I really like to stretch in the sauna at my local gym. That's really helpful for keeping your muscles warm and keeping them kind of limber and moldable, if you will. So from there, you're going to need to figure out what equipment are you going to use or need. You can sign up for a gym membership, although no, that is not necessary. I began working out in my own home because I was too afraid to go to the gym, believe it or not. So I had what we like to call gym intimidation, and that's simply, the feeling that we get, some anxiety maybe, about other people judging us when we're at the gym. And honestly, it's nothing to worry about. Most people at the gym that are there to grow are going to want to help you grow as well. Usually in a gym, you can find yourself surrounded by like-minded individuals that want to better themselves. And if you need help, please feel free to ask them, because I am always begging for people to ask me for help at the gym just because I love offering it so much. And another thing that you could do is just invest in your own home gym equipment. And it doesn't have to be anything expensive. I found my first equipment at garage sales, honestly. And if I didn't have the equipment, milk jugs are a great tool. They're about 8 pounds a piece. That's a good place to start, Work with what you have. If you don't have the resources, I'm sure you can find them. There's a lot of online resources, again, that can help you figure out substitutes for like dumbbells or something like that. For your home gym, I would recommend simply getting some dumbbells, something that you can easily work with so that you don't hurt yourself, but you are still helping your body move. And next step, commitment. Commit to your plan. It can be really easy to sway off of it, especially if you're overloading yourself. The best part about having a simple 3-day structure would be you don't have to worry so much about your schedule. You can just kind of ease into it, and you're not overloading your body to the point where you're so sick and tired of exercise or making yourself healthier that you just completely throw in the towel and banish the idea altogether. The next part, track your progress. There's a lot of apps that you can use in the day and age of the smartphone. Otherwise, I just personally like to bring a journal to the gym because I don't like having my phone on me, because it's another reason for me to be distracted from myself. My gym is my me time, and if you can think about it that way too, it's a lot easier to stay committed to that plan. And tracking your progress through weightlifting will also help you and motivate you to keep going, because it's really cool to be like, wow, I've never done that before. So think about that when you're picking up a journal or when you're at the grocery store and you're trying to think of that one thing you need. Get a journal, track your progress. Next thing, stay away from guilt. Guilt is a greedy, nasty feeling that we get when we do the littlest and silliest of things. If you miss a day, don't sweat it. make it up the next day, or move on. Realize that it wasn't in your time or lifestyle at the moment, and that's okay, because the next time that you have that opportunity, you can make the right decision. Another thing that you may feel guilty about is if somebody corrects your form. Again, do not take that as a disservice to you or who you are, who your character is. You're doing the best you can, and they're probably just trying to help you because they don't want you to hurt yourself either. Words of wisdom, simply take it with a grain of salt if they do seem sort of rude, and look up the form so that you really know what you're doing. And use that as a growth factor altogether, the whole guilty feeling, try to analyze it and use it as an opportunity to grow rather than an opportunity to demean yourself. You're only trying to make yourself better. Keep that in mind. Final thought, consistency. Consistency is key, as they say. One of my favorite analogies of seeing progress in terms of health is that, like, when you take the toilet paper from the toilet paper roll, you never notice how it's getting really low until all of a sudden it's gone and you're yelling at somebody for not replacing the old toilet paper with the new toilet paper. So really just remain consistent. If you miss a day, just get back on track, stay positive, and keep that mindset going. Anybody has enough time to even do a 15-minute workout. Again, there's tons of resources online. There's coaches all over the place. Online coaches are super helpful. And really, anybody can do it. You owe it to yourself to allow yourself to live a really good and healthy life and have that longevity to be there for your kids, your grandkids, your spouse, whomever. Most importantly, yourself. Takeaway, act, repeat, create those healthy habits, establish those things as your lifestyle, and you should have no problem getting to a healthy lifestyle. You're going to be able to eliminate your risk of disease, you're going to get better sleep, and you're going to feel better about yourself too for simply doing something for you. Self-care isn't a common enough factor in our lives these days, so I hope that helped, and I'm looking forward to seeing all of your speeches. Thank you very much.